Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you want to convert more viewers into subscribers? Do you also want to get a higher retention rate so your videos can be promoted by YouTube? On this live stream, or if you're watching a replay, I'm going to be talking about how to create a good YouTube video script so you can get that higher audience retention, higher engagement when viewers watch your videos. And some of the things we're going to be learning today, we're going to look at the benefits of having a great video script, because if you've got a great video script, then you got a higher chance of your video being a winning video. We're also going to look at my video script writing formula and some audience retention tips, some filming tips, and then also some important things to keep in mind when writing a video script, when filming your video. My name is Herman Drost, and my channel is all about how to grow your audience on YouTube so you can generate traffic, leads, and sales on autopilot. And it really begins with great keyword research, and then writing a great script so that you can get that high engagement. So I want to welcome everybody here. We've got Goes, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right. Harley, good to see you. Chris, great to see you. And Brick Advice, so great to see you all there. So when it comes to, well, let me ask you a question. When it comes to preparing or planning for your videos, do you normally just wing it, kind of think about an idea and put all the ideas in your mind and then turn on the video and just shoot the video? Or do you plan out your video with a series of bullet points? Or do you write out the whole script and then memorize word for word? Or do you use a teleprompter? So let me put it in the comments or put it in the chat. What do you usually do when you plan out your videos? Do you, you just write a series of bullet points? Do you just memorize everything? Or just prepare everything in your mind? So, Baker Feeling Productions, good to see you. Yeah, I think Baker's feeling, I think you mentioned that you prepare everything in your mind and you shoot the video because he's doing travel videos. But yeah, let me know in the chat, what way you write a script, prepare your video before you film it. So let me hop over to the slides. I'm going to show you some of the benefits of scripting your videos, even though some of you may not be doing that, while we get some of those answers. But here we have some of the benefits. For me, just speaking from personal experience, it does save me time and energy. So if I prepare the script ahead of time, then I do avoid the mistakes and I tend to stay more on track, and it kind of, keeps my thoughts in the proper order in my mind, where if I just spoke extemporaneously, then it'll be just like a stream of consciousness where all my ideas might be all over the place. So probably in your case, if you're winging it like Brick Advice or anybody else here, then maybe you can keep your thoughts straight in your mind. But for me, it helps me to remember the points I want to cover in the video. It stops me from rambling and going off track. Then I can also make deliberate word choices. So, what would be the right words that convey the information in my video. And also it simplifies the editing. So instead of rambling on and on, then I can, my editing becomes, I save a lot of time with my editing. And then I can also take my script and I can flush it out to create a blog post or use it in an email follow-up series or use it as an article to promote my video and promote my products and services. So those are just some of the great benefits of keeping things organized and having a video script. So I've got one answer here. This is from Harley. He's saying that depends on the video. Project videos tend to be bullet pointed and winged. Teaching videos tend to be scripted with a teleprompter. Yeah. So I think that's, everybody has a different way to prepare things, but I think that's a great idea. I tend to use bullet points myself. How do you write a good video script? Well, even before you write it, you have to think about what's the purpose. And I put down a few ideas here. So what is the goal of your video? You have to think. So is the primary purpose of your video to get more subscribers? Do you just want to get more views? If you get more subscribers, if you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can join the YouTube Partner Program. So that's great. If you get 10,000 subscribers, you can implement YouTube Stories. 100 subscribers, I think, gives you the ability to live stream, to make longer videos in 15 minutes, etc. So, what is the goal of your video before you write your script? So it could be that you just want to get more leads and build an email list, or maybe you just want to entertain people. So before writing your script, you have to think about what is the primary goal of this particular video. And once you've clarified that, then it's easier to come up with a proper script. Oh, and just something to keep in mind too is, before I move on to the title, is to also think about the audience that you're trying to relate your video to. So ideally you want to create content that is a hot topic or a topic that your audience is interested in. So therefore it's good to think about your target audience, think about their wants, needs, and desires. Think about the type of questions that you may want to answer in your script, in your video. So instead of just kind of going, kind of throwing the mud at the wall, it's better to sort of focus on what kind of content you want to produce for that particular person or people. So first you have to come up with a compelling title. And sometimes I wait till I've written the script because I have some ideas for different titles, but I may not have the proper title in mind, the correct title in mind, till after I've written the script. But so know who the content is for. Choose an interesting topic, and your title should be compatible for viewers and the search engines. And then the title and thumbnail should work together. So when it comes to a title, often I'll start off with the kind of keyword phrase that people are putting into the search engine. So I'll use the YouTube suggest bar, I'll use TubeBuddy, I'll use Morning Fame. Sometimes I use Answer the Public, which gives you a lot of questions that people normally ask for a particular niche. And then I'll see, using like a keyword research tool like TubeBuddy or even Keywords Everywhere. Keywords Everywhere, if you install that, then it'll give you the search volume right away in the browser bar. for that particular keyword phrase. So you can quickly see, is there a lot of traffic? Is it worth going after that particular keyword phrase? So when you've identified the keyword phrase, then you also want to create a compelling title that incorporates both the keyword phrase and something compelling for your viewer. So for instance, in this particular video or live stream said, I could have just put how to script your YouTube video. So that's, or how to create or how to write a YouTube video title. So it's not really compelling, but the keyword phrase, how to write a good video script for YouTube, that was less competitive. And then at the end of the title, I put, to get higher engagement. So kind of making viewers curious when they see the title that they'll want to click on the video. And then for my thumbnail, as you can see the thumbnail, I put script secrets. So people think of what are the secrets to creating or writing a good video script for YouTube for your next video. So a combination of a great title, a great thumbnail, then that helps people to click on the video that they see, or the thumbnail they see in the search engine, and remaining engaged on your video. So you got to get them there first. So your title and your thumbnail does that. So when you start your video, then the first 15 seconds will determine if people are going to remain engaged throughout your videos. So the first 15 seconds is kind of crucial. Some people might say the first 10 seconds or 30 seconds. But if you can keep people engaged in those first 15, 20 seconds, they're more likely to remain engaged throughout the video. So I'm not saying that it's going to be 100% of the people, that keep watching your video in the first 15 seconds are going to remain engaged throughout the video, but maybe 40%, maybe 50%. Recently, I've got about 30 to 45% of the people watching my videos watched it all the way through. So not quite 50%. So I'm kind of shooting for 50, and sometimes some of my videos got 50 and 60%. But to get a high audience retention is pretty hard these days because people have a lot of options. People don't have a very long attention span. So what are you going to do in that first 15 seconds? So here are some ideas. You can ask a question like, do you want to convert more viewers into subscribers? Tease what's coming up later in the video. You can say, stay tuned to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a secret that will get you more views to your YouTube videos. Or you could, if you're doing a tutorial video, then what you can do is you can, instead of showing people in the next 10 minutes, what in your tutorial video, what's going to happen, you can give kind of quick flashes at the beginning of what to expect later on in the video. So say, for instance, you were showing a video how to bake a cake, then at the beginning, you could show flashes of preparing the cake, baking the cake, and the finished cake, the finished product. And so people can see at the very beginning that this is what you're going to show or teach in your video. So you kind of tease them at the beginning. And I think it's called an open loop, I think. So basically you tell them what you're going to tell them, show them what you've told them, that what you promised, and then you kind of tell them again. But that last part, a lot of people say summarize the content at the end, but I find that if you give a summary at the end, then that signals to your viewers that you're ending your video. So you don't want to signal the ending of your video. You want to keep people watching. The hook should also reinforce what you promised in the title and your thumbnail. So you have your title, and then the thumbnail should reinforce your title. And if you're using text in your thumbnail, don't use the same as your title. You might use a few words in there, but you don't want to use the whole title in your thumbnail. You want to keep just a few words, maybe 2 or 3 words that summarize the content in your thumbnail, or ideally create a thumbnail that provides some curiosity for people to click on the video. And then your hook should be telling people what to expect, what is coming up. Or you might also kind of, if you're talking about a particular problem, then you can kind of double down on the problem. So say you have a question like, do you want to convert more viewers into subscribers? Do you spend hours every night wondering, how can I get more views? How can I get more subscribers? And it's making you upset. You're tearing your hair out trying to figure out what to do, even though you optimized the video, even though you did the keyword research, even though you thought you did a great video, but you're still not getting more views, more subscribers, higher engagement, etc. So what I've shown you there is that you're sort of doubling down on the problem. So, and then in the latter part of that, you're offering your solution. So tell viewers what to expect, and emphasizing the problem that you brought up at the beginning. So after you've hooked people at the beginning of your video, then, and this doesn't apply to all niches, but generally you want to keep your intro short. This could be a video bumper. You could be asking viewers to subscribe, and then if you ask them to subscribe, you want to give them a strong reason, to subscribe. Do you want to get more views and subscribers to your channel? Do you want to know how to bake a cake within 5 minutes that can feed your family? So generally I find that having an intro after your hook is better than having your bumper before the hook. Now, a lot of people put the intro bumper at the beginning, but when people come to your video, they don't want to spend time, even if it's a few seconds or 30 seconds, watching a beautiful video bumper. So therefore you want to provide a hook first to hook them into the content, then a very short intro. It could be 5, 10 or 15 seconds, the shorter the better, and then move on to the meat of your content. But generally, I do that intro at the beginning of my videos because a lot of people don't stay to the end of the video. So if you ask people to subscribe at the end of the video, maybe you've lost 50% or more of your viewers. So asking them at the beginning is a good tip to do. But you could also experiment with having no introduction and go straight from the hook straight into the meat of the content. So it's a good one to test. So now we're going to the main content, and the main content is where you go into your bullet points, your main points that you wish to cover. So you're expanding on the content that you promised in the beginning. You're offering solutions to the problem that you stated at the beginning. It could be a listicle type, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. And just a tip on the side there, this is what I've been kind of experimenting with. If you do a listicle or a list type video, Generally what I do, I put, I say like number 1 point, or you put that graphic on the screen. But some, people that, and I've done this myself, people that are watching your video, say it's a 10-minute video, they'll scroll through the video without watching it to look at the points. So in that case, they'll stop, maybe, they'll go point 1, point 2, point 3, but they won't, they'll be going quickly through your video. So you might want to experiment with not putting the graphic there, or not indicating point 1, point 2, point 3, so you can get them to, keep that audience retention going. Alternatively, you can use B-roll and graphics, transitions, etc., jump cuts, to kind of keep reset the attention of the viewers. But that's just something that you may want to experiment with. So reset the attention of your viewers every 10 seconds, or it could be 15 seconds. And ways to do that, as I just mentioned, using jump cuts, transitions, graphics. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you could also add a card if you wanted people to go to a more, you want to go deeper into your content, but you can't do it in that particular video. So text overlays, and then try to avoid repeating the content as you give your main points. So you don't want to, and this is where the editing comes in handy, because as you are editing, and sometimes I forget this, I do like a 10-minute video, and then I say I just covered 1 point, and then I'm kind of repeating myself. So then you want to remove the fluff in your editing process. You want to keep it tight and compact, because you don't want to waste the time of your viewers. And if you keep it to the point and compact and hard hitting, then it's more likely that you're going to keep that audience retention. So that really depends. People are really very interested in the topic. So you don't want to repeat yourself. You might want to also include personal examples. Your personal experiences, or bring up an example. If you're showing something, if you're doing a tutorial, then people don't want you to just talk about it, but they want you to also show what you're talking about, since it's a video. And then you don't want to go off topic. As you're going through your main content, you don't want to, if you're telling a story, you don't want to go way off story, but you want to keep it very tight and to the point. So that's the beauty of having a script, is that you're not going to, you've planned out your content, and you're not going off the rails, and then also you're saving time in your editing process. And another thing you can do is, as you're going through your content, you could, say you're doing a 10-minute video, you could also take a break and say, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the content, or you can even ask them a question, like a question of the day. Do you typically script your videos? So that kind of breaks up your content, especially doing a tutorial type video like I do. So you can do all kinds of things. You can even have a glass of water. Just a quick reset of people's attention to keep them watching. So you can do something every 10 seconds or so. You could be just demonstrating something. You might take your phone might go off or something. So instead of editing it out, it could be like a prop that adds as a break to your video. And then zooming in, zooming out. You can also change positions. And that, everything helps to keep that audience retention. But I think, think about the different breaks that that could break up the monotony or break up a tutorial type video. And some people really go all out and do tons of jump cuts, every couple of seconds. I think for me that's kind of overdoing it, but hey, if any of you have any tips on keeping audience retention, I think being entertaining also is another thing that you could do as well. So that's talking about the meat of the content. Okay, and after you've hooked people from the beginning, they're watching your main content, then you're coming to the end of your content, you want to give a call to action. So your call to action, basically you're telling viewers what you want them to do. You at the beginning I talked about having a goal for your video. So do you want to get more subscribers? Do you want to get more views? Do you want to build your email list? Do you want to just entertain people? Do you want to impact people? So generally, the call to action, in my case, I generally ask people to watch the next video, because instead of making like a 30-minute video, you might have a 5 or 10-minute video, but then you can't share everything. So then you tell them to watch the next video, which goes more deeply into the content. And this could be a video that it's part of a playlist. So you have a series of videos that they can watch one after another. So then I try to link from my current video to a card or to a playlist on the end screen. So since you've given great content throughout your video, then you want to tell them what to do or watch the next video, or if you want them to subscribe to your email list, and click the link in the description, or if you just want them to subscribe, you can add an end screen with just the subscribe button on there. The other thing is you don't want to add too many calls to actions. So for instance, you could ask people to click the link in the description. You could ask them to watch the next video. You could ask them to subscribe. You could ask them to join the email list. And like when you go into a supermarket, you have a whole bunch of toothpaste on there. You don't know which one to get. So in the same way, you just want to give people one, or maybe at the top, 2 choices. So one would be to watch the next video, and 2 would be to subscribe to your channel. So probably 1 is better, so that you have a sort of a focused call to action. It's like a landing page. If you bring people to a landing page, then if you have a whole bunch of navigation links on there, then people are going to be distracted clicking on all those links and leaving the landing page. So instead of that, when you create your landing page, you don't have any navigation links on there, and you just focus on the message for them to opt into your email list or to purchase a product, etc. So your call to action should be very focused. Another thing you don't want to do is telegraph the end of your video. So if you say something like, well, that's all I've got to say, or I hope you enjoyed the video, or I hope you have a great day, then you're telegraphing the end of the video and they'll click away. Instead, you want to say, maybe ask an opening question. Do you want to get more, you want to get a higher audience retention rate? Then if that's a yes, watch the next video that talks about how to boost your audience retention rate. So those kind of points, all those points that I mentioned can make a big difference to getting a higher engagement on your videos. So Baker Feeling Productions Travel Channel. Great videos, by the way. Ask a question. You just mentioned only one CTA. What if you want to add a link to the playlist and another to the next video? In case of a vlog series, is it better to choose just one? I don't know about travel channels, but I would say that linking to a playlist is always good. You know, if you're traveling, you know, through Italy, and then you're stopping at some place, but then the next place, people are very interested to check out the next place. Then probably playlist is probably good. And sometimes I struggle with this because I often want people to I want to build my email list, but also don't want to take people off YouTube. So linking to a playlist is good because you can have your next video in the playlist, so you can just link to that particular video in the playlist. So when they watch that video, then the playlist automatically appears next to that video. So I would say link to a playlist instead of a single video. And so that gives them a better opportunity for them to watch more of your videos. And for me, if it comes to building email list versus keeping people on the YouTube platform, what I'll do is I'll link to a playlist or a series of videos over maybe 2 or 3 videos, and then after 2 or 3 videos, I'll tell people to download my cheat sheet, report, ebook, etc. So I'm not going to do it in every video because it takes people off the platform. Okay, so moving right along. So that was a call to action. Okay, let's look at some filming tips. So you got your script done, and now you're ready to film. So you want to relax before filming. So you could sing a song, you could jump around, do some exercise, go for a walk or meditate or something. But if you're feeling very uptight, you got to get this video out, you're scheduled for a video and you got to get it out, and you're pushed for time, and your siblings are coming, or you have guests coming, you got to get this video. So then you're kind of stressed out, and that's going to show up in your video. So you want to relax before you film your video, but you also want to raise your energy level. So you don't want to do it when you're super tired or hungry or something like that. You want to keep your energy level strong. And so because generally when you shoot a video, then the camera takes away some of your energy. So you want to raise your energy a little bit, or raise your voice a little bit, but still come across natural, like you're talking to somebody over coffee. And the more you can do that, with practice, you can get better. But if you can just appear natural, then that helps. I used to stand up and do my videos, but then I found I was moving my hands too much. So I felt like, I'll just sit at my desk and like I'm having a conversation with somebody, sitting across from me. Actually works better. But it's good to experiment whether you're standing or sitting, etc. So if you have a script, and I used to do this when I was first beginning videos, I'd write out the whole script, and then I would look down, memorize a few words, speak it, and then go on like that. So I kind of take my script and I memorize a couple of lines, then I'd speak it on the camera, and then I'd take a pause, look down again, memorize the next couple of lines, and then speak it. And then in the editing process, I can edit out all the breaks. But now I just have a bunch of bullet points, and I'll take the bullet point and also already know what to say. So I don't tend to write out the whole script anymore. Just take some practice, So I think at the beginning it's probably good to write out the whole thing. If you just appear natural, that's good. You also want to look directly at the camera. So you want to, like on my camera that I'm using now, which is a Canon M50, it has a flip out screen. So sometimes I forget when I'm out filming that I'll look to the, I should look directly into the camera like I'm doing now and into the camera lens. But if it has a flip out screen, sometimes I'll look to the side, and then I'll notice that when I'm in the editing process that I wasn't really looking directly at the lens. So make sure when you're filming that you look directly at the lens and keep the lens kind of at eye level, so you're looking directly to your audience. So that's just a couple of tips with that. I notice it makes a big difference. So another thing is to you want to keep shooting even when you make mistakes. So you might sneeze, you might have somebody interrupt you during the filming process. You can just keep the camera rolling, and you can always edit out those mistakes. Now, one caveat to that is that, and I've noticed that sometimes if I have the camera rolling for like half an hour, then I've got a huge video file, and sometimes my computer can't, it takes up a lot of memory or the editing software with that big video clip takes up a lot of resources. So if you have that problem, what you can do is just when you're doing your bullet points or making some point in your video, record that part, stop the camera, and then start the camera again to record the next section of your video. And in the editing process, it'll be much quicker because you know where you stopped and started, and you can quickly edit that little portion that you shot of your video. You just have to, sometimes when I've done that, I've noticed that I didn't switch the camera on. I thought, I was making a point and I was talking about, my content, and I go to the editing process and I found that I forgot to switch the camera on because I was stopping and starting it. So that's just something to keep in mind if you're doing your video in sections. But generally I try to just keep the camera going for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes for like a 10-minute video, and then I'll just edit out the parts I don't need when it comes to the editing process. You want to keep it natural. So as I mentioned, you want to relax. You want to speak as if you're talking to a friend, and you also want to pace yourself. Sometimes, and I notice I sometimes do this, and I've done that. I've looked back at my old videos. People say, "Hey, you spoke too fast, like you're running a race." So you might be nervous because you're on camera. So you have to find a way to pace yourself so you don't, speak too quickly and lose your audience. So that also takes practice, and I would say I'm not perfect at it yet, but people are pretty forgiving of some mistakes that you make, but you just have to keep on improving. And the last point is remove your mistakes in the editing process. So as I mentioned before, those mistakes you make, or what you call the bloopers. Some people put the bloopers into the end screen at the end of the video for keep people entertained. I think that's an idea you can experiment with. And also, I've noticed some people, they put bloopers at the end, and then people have said, "Hey, I just stay watching your video because I want to see your bloopers." So that's something to keep in mind. Oh, I also mentioned, I didn't tell you about that point, but get feedback from others. So if your audience retention rate is not doing very well, you might want to join a Facebook group, get some feedback from your, and see what other people think. Here's a way that you can see if your retention is good. So you can go into YouTube Analytics and look at your end screen elements. So you can go to like YouTube Studio Analytics, click See More, and then you click the plus sign to see that, add the metric to the table, and then you'll see those. You see the end screen element clicks, end screen element shown, and clicks per screen end screen element shown. So end screen element clicks is the number of times an end screen element was clicked. So that means that people are watching your video and staying to the end of the video and then clicking on the element in the end screen. End screen element shown is the number of times an end screen element was displayed to the viewers, and click per end screen element shown is how often the viewers clicked an end screen element when the end screen was shown. So if you look at the metrics of that, you can quickly see, are there any videos where you have a high percentage of people watching to the end of the video and clicking on your end screen. So if you can boost the number of clicks to your end screen, then you know you're doing a good job. Some important things to keep in mind. So write the script the way you speak. So how you speak. My wife sometimes says, wow, in your video you speak so fast, but then to me you speak more slowly. So I probably should speak more slowly. Add B-roll, transitions, jump cuts, zoom in, zoom out to improve engagement. So I think I said that before. You're trying to reset the attention of your viewers. So adding the jump cuts and transitions, the B-roll, adding graphics, all helps to reset the attention. And I also mentioned about viewing your end screen analytics, and also view your audience retention graph. YouTube has provided the audience retention graph, so you can see exactly where in your video did people start leaving your video. So look at that and then try to improve in your next video. And then you want to get feedback. I'll try to improve your audience retention with each new upload. Can you increase it by 1%? Can you increase it by 0.5%? Get feedback from others. If you think you're always getting 20% audience retention rate, maybe you can improve. But sometimes when you're making videos yourself and you kind of you're focused on it, it's hard to see the forest for the trees. You get used to seeing the trees because you're so close up to the video. You're so involved with your video. But when you get somebody else to have a more objective look, then they can see right away what things you need to improve. So you could even be insulted. Somebody might insult you, and you might take it very personally. But instead of getting upset, reflect to yourself, maybe it's something like, maybe I should improve something in my video. So if you want honest feedback, then come into the Facebook group and ask, what could you do to improve your video or your thumbnail, etc. So sometimes that feedback from others can be good and can be bad. You could ask 10 people and 5 people say one thing and 5 people say the other thing, but that's where the testing comes. You test it, and then there's a feature in YouTube Analytics where you can compare a set of videos with another set of videos. So maybe change the backdrop of your videos, and so you can compare the videos before you did the backdrop and the videos you did after your backdrop, and see, was there a difference in the amount of traffic that they got. So that comparison feature can be very handy.